That I did everything every day I could to bring them into the party, make them part of the party, but some of them just frankly didn't want to come.
Let me ask something about the white supremacists, this stuff that just keeps trying to get into the mainstream, into the conservative movement. I feel like the Republican Party that you grew up in did a pretty good job of trying to eradicate this. And it creeped back in, whether it creeped in via libertarian movements or whatever, it creeped back in, and you see it. You've gone from one problem in Steve King, and it's metastasized. Now they're trying to start a caucus that's sort of based on these racist ideas. How did this happen? How did this get mainstreamed a bit in your party?
Well, Chuck, I have no idea how this even showed up. I wouldn't call it mainstreamed in our party, but I can tell you that this so-called America First caucus is one of the nuttiest things I've ever seen. Listen, America is a land of immigration. We've been the world's giant melting pot for 250 years. And we ought to celebrate the fact that we are this giant melting pot. And to see some members of Congress go off and start this America First caucus it's the silliest thing I've ever seen, and Republicans need to denounce it.
By their definition, by the way, of immigration, they would basically say there shouldn't be Asian Americans. Citizenship in this country, the way that's described. I don't think people realize how cruel that some of that stuff was said there, right, Mr. Speaker?
I think it's awfully cruel. And frankly, it has no place in the Republican Party. You know, my second biggest regret during my time as Speaker is not being able to come to an agreement with President Obama on an immigration reform bill. Our immigration system is a mess. It's broken from top to bottom. And it needs to be fixed so that it's fairer for Americans who are here and fairer for those who are trying to come here.
Was it him or was it conservative media? I mean, you know, you wrote this about Roger Ailes. You said, I just didn't believe the entire federal government was so terrified of Roger Ailes that they'd break about a dozen laws to bring him down. I thought I could get him to control the crazies, and instead I found myself talking to the president of the club. Here was the head of Fox News. You met with him to say, hey, can we cool this rhetoric down? So you put the blame on President Obama. Isn't it Roger Ailes and the radicalization of what happened on sort of right wing at night that torpedoed immigration? No. Believe me, Chuck. I wanted to get immigration reform done. President Obama wanted to get it done. But again, every time we'd get ready to move, the president would go out and give some speech, or he'd loosen up some immigration regulation and just kind of set everybody on fire. Yeah. And that's not a prescription for getting things accomplished in the Congress.